Hi everyone, my name is Ty Bender and I am recording a video today to share with you. It is for His Kingdom Come, and it is a Bible journaling challenge, which actually today I am doing in my hymnal. It's for His Kingdom Come, so you can find us on Facebook, find the group for His Kingdom Come on Facebook, and join us for these challenges and have some fellowship, and you can share your artwork with us and we will have a wonderful time. So you can see here today that I am not journaling in my journaling Bible. Instead, I'm using a vintage hymnal. I have several vintage hymnals that I use for art journaling, and you can see my work in my hymnals on my Instagram at Growing Meadows, or also if you follow me on Periscope, I do a lot of these pages live on Periscope, and you can check it out. So all I've done here so far is lay down some acrylic paint, and I was using Dinah Wakely paint for this lovely blue color. I think it's called turquoise. I'll be sure to put some links for you guys so you can find the materials. The washi tape I'm using is actually new in my own shop, and my shop is called Growing Meadows on Etsy. This is a nice bright pink washi tape with the word hallelujah written on it, and these are actually very new in our shop, and I'm hoping to add some more designs soon. It was a super fun adventure. So all I like to do when I journal in my hymnal, I really enjoy doing the 2-page spreads. Occasionally I just do one. Almost always I do 2 pages though, and there's a lot of freedom in journaling the hymnal because it just does not matter to me what I cover up in the background. The notes and the music, they just make super lovely layers in the page and give it kind of a mixed media quality. Here I'm also going to use this set of stamps from my shop that I just shared, and it's called Panda Joy. So if you're looking for that, that is in my shop as well, Growing Meadows on Etsy. There's lots and lots of choices for stamps out there, and over there on the right side of the screen you can see the URL for my shop. One of the techniques I really like to do, and I do this a lot, if you follow me on Periscope you can see me do this all the time, is I will take this stamp, and right now I'm using Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I really like doing this tone-on-tone effect with the ink, and it's actually going to dry and be a little bit lighter, so you're barely going to be able to see that word joy. It's going to kind of just blend in, just adding more and more layers all the time to the pages to create lots and lots of interest. So I'm going to be doing that here with the Tim Holtz, and actually these ones on the left side page are going to end up getting covered up by the end of the video. I didn't realize that when I started that was going to happen, but you know, just keep adding your layers, and I like to use lots of embellishments. I'm switching now to a Hero Arts. This is a white pigment ink pad, and I'm using a cluster of stars stamp from the same stamp set. And I'm just going to add that all around. Now, I also want to read with you guys the verse that I'm going to journal on the page. And I'm going to be journaling from John chapter 14, verses 1 through 4. Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. And you know the way to where I am going. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. And the chapter kind of goes on to Thomas saying, you know, no, we don't know anything. And he does know. And I think a lot of times Thomas gets a bad rap for being a doubter, and we think of Thomas as a doubter, but I really like to think of Thomas as just, I kind of feel like he spends a lot of time maybe worrying or concerned that he might not be doing something correctly. And just hasn't at this point embraced the grace that we have because of the resurrection now, and I'm sure he came to understand that later. But I really love Thomas and his questions. I think he dives down in there, and honestly, they are just perfect for us today because he asks the question so we don't have to, and then Jesus responds to him throughout the chapter. So the on the right hand page of the hymnal here, I am journaling, the song that I'm focusing on is the Unclouded Day, which is a lovely, awesome Southern gospel song, you know, just about heaven and our awesome joy that we're going to have there with Jesus, and the fellowship, and how this world is just not our home. So that's kind of the idea behind the page. It's just a celebration. So what you can see me doing now in the video is I have taken several acrylic paints. Most of them are the Master's Touch brand. I think the yellow is Liquitex. Master's Touch brand is at Hobby Lobby, and I love these paints. And I am just literally finger painting. So this is a super easy technique that you can do, and you do not have to have anything fancy. You don't even have to have this kind of paints. You can use any paints that you have. And what we're making here is a big old bunch of balloons, and just as a fun celebration of just everything that Jesus has done for us, that he is indeed God, that he went through his pain and his suffering and his death and his resurrection, but even more than that, he lived his life as a fulfillment of the law so that we can be free in his grace, and we can just receive that forgiveness and that entry into heaven. And all we have to do is believe in him. His word says it over and over, and the gift is for everyone. So that is the celebration that I'm doing here on my page. So I ended up, like I said, making this bunch of balloons a lot larger than I anticipated. So it ended up covering up some of that stamps, but that's okay. It's I just love the happiness and the joyfulness, and that we can really dwell on, while we're watching the news, and we're just, praying for our children, and we're trying to, just beg God to take away the things that we see that are just tragic events that are happening lately, in our world and in our country. And so I wanted to create this page as a happy place where we can dwell on our eternal home. This world is not our home. It's not our home. And there is an unclouded day. And so basically now I'm just using a heat tool. I'm going to dry up the paint as best as I can. Actually, I would recommend drying it a lot longer than I dried it, because as I'm going to use my pen here in a minute, it's actually still a little bit wet. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I picked off the little panda that's holding a balloon. And the technique I'm using here is to use washi tape to mask off the balloon, because we're going to have this little panda holding the big bunch of balloons rather than just the one little balloon in his hand currently. So I'm using Stays On ink. It's just a black ink that I prefer. Any black ink would do for this, because we're not going to be adding any more water to it or anything like that. I like this ink because it dries really quickly, and I have it on hand all the time. So here we go. I inked him up, and then I peeled off the tape from the balloon, so only the panda has ink on him. Or you could use a card here to mask. This is just the way I chose to do it. There's different stamping techniques for masking, but there he is. He's so cute. And now we are going to use a pen to draw in some details for the balloons. And the pen that I'm going to be using here is a Uniball Signo black gel pen, and it is the 207 Bold. You can see that on the front it actually says the word bold above the number 207. This is one of my very, very, very favorite pens. I journal with it all the time. I like it because it writes well over paint, although in this case the balloons are still pretty wet, and you may not be able to see it in the video, but I do run into a little bit of trouble with that. So I would suggest definitely letting your balloons dry all the way before you try this. But it will write over the paint. It will not gunk up the pen or the ballpoint of the pen. And so I'm just scribbling in some details here. Everybody can do this, guys. You don't have to be an artist or anything fancy. These pens are from Walmart. You don't have to have a fancy art store or anything like that. So please, I would encourage you to give it a try. I used my finger and a gel pen. It's so not hard. Everybody can do it, I promise. So the little panda just adds such cute details there. So I'm adding in some balloon strings, and I'm going to go ahead and maybe after I get this all finished, I might be adding in some more details after we're off the camera. I'm not sure if I want more scribbles or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. What I have here now is a Jelly Roll pen. It's a bright yellow color, and this is one of the Moonlight pens, and the brand name is called Jelly Roll. And what I'm doing is I'm just drawing some stars over top of those same white stars that we stamped. I felt that they faded in a little bit too much to the background, but just adding some yellow stars with them. Again, just more layers for that kind of mixed media look, and just to add some more interest to the page. I'm always adding lots and lots of pins and embellishments to my pages. That's just the way I roll. So On the last part of the verse there, it says, "You know the way." And that's, I wanted to put that in stickers. So I'm using, these stickers are by Bella Boulevard. Some are from Illustrated Faith, Bella Boulevard, Illustrated Faith, and some are just, the little ones are just Bella Boulevard tiny text, yellow. And I'll put some links again for you guys. I have them just here on a sheet of wax paper just to make it quicker so you don't have to watch me pick stickers off of the sheets. So that's all, the only thing I've done there. This is another trick you can use if you're trying to squeeze your stickers in or figure out where you want them to fit. You could stick them on the wax paper, then lay the wax paper down over top of your piece, and you can kind of see where you want them to line up. I didn't do that in this case because I knew they were going to fit, but I have done it before, and it's very effective, and they don't stick super tight to that wax paper, so you can peel them off very easily. All right, now I am switching to, you can see there, I switched to a Uniball Signo Pen 207. It's the regular thickness. It did not say bold. So I'm going to be using this pink Jelly Roll pen to write out the verses. It's, again, John chapter 14, verses 1 through 4. And I'm just writing them in this neon pink color with the Jelly Roll pen. And then I am going to use that black Uniball pen, not the bold one, but the regular one on the left, to kind of go around those letters and make everything pop out. So you can see here, I mean, I'm just writing out the verses. I'm not doing anything. I'm just writing them in a line. And I like to combine both pages together. You can see I have writing on the left and right page. I just go back and forth across the entire spread. This is just a technique I like to do to keep the pages tied together, and I really enjoy in the hymnal having the 2-page spreads. It's just a look that I absolutely love. So here you can see me starting out with the black pen, and I know it's a little bit tough to see on the video, but I am just going around the letters that I wrote, and you can also see there, I had this scripture pulled up on my cell phone while I was filming, and my cell phone made its way into the frame of the video. So I apologize for that. It looks weird and it's distracting me, but hopefully you can ignore it a little bit because I don't even know what I was thinking there. So you can kind of watch time fly on my phone over there if you need to. But again, you can see I'm just going down the page. This is a little bit time consuming, so I tried to speed it up here. But you guys get the idea of what I'm doing with the sketchiness around the letters. And then I'm going to take the same pen and I'm going to go ahead and go around the stickers as well so that they can pop out just a little bit. So again, I love these Uniball pens. They're just wonderful for writing over paint, and I paint a lot. So they are, however, not waterproof, so you might want to watch for that. You might want to get yourself a permanent pen. I like using the Illustrated Faith pen or even Micron pens. Those are wonderful if you need something that's waterproof. But in this case, I'm not going to be adding any more water, so the pen is not going to smear around, and it just writes so smoothly and lovely over the paint. And you can see around those balloons, which are nice, that's big, thick paint circles that I made with my fingers. So this is the page here, and it's just very simple. And what I'm doing right now is I'm using the same pen. I think I might be using the bold version here. It doesn't really matter. And I'm coloring in the stamp. And you might wonder why I'm doing that. I do not do this usually on my Bible pages, but in this vintage hymnal, it's the old paper tends to soak up the ink a lot. So I just wanted him to stand out a little bit more. I'm going to add a clip up at the top or any tab that you have. I love adding tabs or little pieces of interest popping out of the top of my book. And then I'm using my pink gel pen again to color in the heart that the little panda is holding. I'm loving the way this page turned out. This is the stamp set again that I used from my shop, Growing Meadows, on Etsy. And I really hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Thanks. Bye.